I woke up this morning in a rest stop on the highway I-5 between Huntington Beach and San Diego, and I'm down in San Diego to do another photo shoot today. We'll be doing that in a couple of hours, but I thought I would take you for a little walk around the beach. I'm parked beside the toilet, I guess you'd call it, washrooms, change rooms, and I'm just walking out on the sand. So just walked up a little ways onto a mound, and I can give you an idea what this looks like. It's just a short distance from a naval base, a naval air base. So we may have some naval airplanes flying overhead while we're shooting. We're going to try and find probably a spot down there, some spot where there's not a lot of onlookers. I had a bit of a laugh last night after I did my video, but before I uploaded it, I did a bit of editing. I went and, if you watched yesterday's video, you'll know I went and got some coffee. And I was at Starbucks, had my coffee. Well, I didn't have it yet. I took it to my truck or my bus and started to edit a video. Well, about 5 minutes later, a parking attendant came along, or a security guard came along, told me I'm not allowed to park my bus in the parking lot. And I kind of laughed. Anyway, I'm going to show you the sign in just a minute, but because I took a picture of the sign so that I could go into Walmart, where I had been already but had forgotten something, so I went back for a second time to buy something, to ask Walmart why there is an attendant there who's telling people they can't shop at Walmart and can't go to Starbucks because they drive a bus. Anyway, it was pretty comical. So I got booted from a parking lot at 6 o'clock at night because some attendant thought that I was planning to spend the day there or spend the night there. Anyway, that's what happens when a lot of people have no creativity, no imagination, can't find a place to park, so they default to a place like Walmart, and become such a nuisance. The security guards have to scare everybody away all the time. Sign is intended for people planning to park overnight, but this security guard thinks it's all day long. My photo shoot was very short. It was lots of fun, but it was very windy, so it was cold and we had to cut it short. So I'm just showing you a few images. Well, I woke up this morning. I went and got a coffee and drove my truck to a spot where I can more easily get a refill. And I realized this morning that I had gone out last night to buy some water in like 1 gallon containers, and there wasn't any. I bought some juice, so I was fine, but I was surprised there was no water. So I'm off to get a refill. But while I'm getting this refill, or before I get the refill, I'm going to check to see if they resupplied the water. There were two things that had changed yesterday, like a complete change that surprised me. One was the 99-cent store had no 1 gallon containers of water, and Whole Foods had no 1 gallon containers of water. They had replaced the 1 gallon containers with a lot of smaller sized containers and much more expensive, you know, sort of designer water. So this morning I want to go and see what has happened. It's my belief now that maybe this coronavirus has scared people into buying larger quantities of water and hoarding this stuff. So I'm just going to go have a look. Okay, so I've been in a 99-cent store. No 1 gallon containers of water. I'm starting to believe that perhaps 1 gallon containers of water aren't even available to them anymore. Very weird. Anyway, it would be a real shame if there's actually people out there with running water in their homes and they're buying up and consuming all of the water sources, all of the what do you call it, convenient, inexpensive water sources, so that those people who depend on those bottled water sources can't buy water at all. Anyway, we're going to investigate a little bit more as the day goes by. At Whole Foods, the 1 gallon containers have been replaced with bottles, small bottles. There are no more 1 gallon containers of water. Well, of course, we're all going to survive on coffee. But this is actually, seriously folks, this is the first time in my life I've actually noticed any form of public scare or hysteria. This is the first time I've noticed any impact on my own life from popular beliefs or misbeliefs or conceptions or misconceptions. So my first search on Google found an article about the bottled water shortage from people who are hoarding those products. So I'm scrolling through this so that you can read it if you feel the need to, otherwise scratch forward a bit. Even the California Attorney General is talking about the possibility of people taking advantage of the situation.
Shopping this weekend, you might have noticed people stocking up on supplies. It appears growing concerns about the coronavirus have led to more empty shelves in Costco's and Walmart's across the state. Now, just last week, the CDC told Congress there is no need for healthy Americans to stock up on supplies.
So this scare has forced me to do something I really don't do often enough. Fill up my containers, my water containers. And at the same time, I'm only going to pay 40 cents per liter instead of $1. Anyway, the impact is not that huge. The impact for me is not that great. But I'm really surprised there's any impact at all, especially on a commodity like bottles of water. I guess people are assuming it's like an atomic bomb and it's going to blow up the water supply system in their home. Anyway, you get to watch me load bottles of water. I'm in a large city. This is Los Angeles, or Venice Beach, a part of Los Angeles. There's a water system. It fills these machines that filter and blend or do whatever they do to clean the water. There's water all over the place in this city, and yet people have bought up bottles of water that are in 1 gallon containers. This machine, you can choose to pay $2 gallon or 30 cents a gallon. I don't know the difference. Well, it's still very early in the morning and I'm finished my video. I don't know what to say. This is my first experience with any hoarding, seeing any hoarding or anything like that in my entire life. I'm 70 years old. There's a virus every year, a new strain of virus that comes along every single year that affects a lot of people. This one sounds like it's killing a few, or when I say a few, it's killing a lot of people relative to most viruses. However, every year, my sister used to tell me, hey Gus, get your flu shot, get your flu shot. Well, over my lifetime, I've noticed that I catch the flu every 4 years. So every 4 years, the virus mutates enough for me to catch the flu. Well, I think I had the flu last year or the year before. So I've got, in my mind, 3 years in between. Now, I don't get why people are, worried about this particular one any more than any other. Every year they have to go through a period of time to create a proper, what do you call it? A proper inoculation, a proper, what is it called? Vaccine. Every year they have to go through a period of time to create a vaccine for the new mutation that comes along each year. And generally speaking, they have a vaccine before it gets out of hand. So I don't know why this particular one is getting a lot of attention, other than the news media is turning it into something that is, it may be serious, but they're turning it into like something that's more serious than it needs to be. Anyway, there's something ridiculous about people in a city like Los Angeles thinking they're going to run out of water because of a virus. It's absolutely absurd, but it gives you a good example of the kind of absurdity that exists in our lives these days. I started out with some guy sort of overreacting to his job, his parking job, like his job as a security guard, telling me to get out of a parking lot because I had a bus, even though I am a customer. In other words, I had a legitimate right to be there, but he was asking me to leave because he felt that I was probably there too long drinking my coffee. Anyway, so the world is pretty absurd. This is my video about how I deal with the coronavirus. If you enjoyed it, maybe there's a bit of humor for you, and maybe you're just going to be sending me notes saying you're an idiot. You should be doing everything you can to survive and wearing a mask, because you're in all these cities that are inundated with the coronavirus. But whatever the case may be, this is actually 2 days, but it gives you an idea of how I deal with things in life. I hope you enjoyed the video to some degree. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you think that a pretty picture of a girl with coronavirus on the front thumbnail is clickbait, comment about it. Anyway, that's my day, and it's a clickbait day. I'll see you later. Have a great day.